Back here at historic Bearcat Stadium, where Texoma FC and FC Naples take the pitch, accompanied by a local U16 South African side competing in the Dallas Cup in the Texoma region. They are attending the match and walking out with both sides here tonight. And speaking of those sides, it's time to get a look at our lineups for this evening, starting with Adrian Forbes' side. It is a 4-3-3 formation, and not too many changes with the exception of Reed Valentine entering the 11 in Angelo Calfo's place. Luca Purpa does enter the side for FC Naples, but it is the front three of Henderlong, Fedin, and Onan, three players who have been lethal going forward this year, and of course the spine of Evans and Dengler in defense, with one of the top goalkeepers in USL League One in Lalo Delgado between the sticks for Matt Poland's bunch. This is one of the better sides on paper in the league. They have performed up to snuff to begin their inaugural campaign. Well, we are just about set for kickoff here from Sherman, Texas. We await Jacqueline Metz's signal, our lead official tonight. It is Texoma and Naples, the first ever clash of these two expansion sides, and we are underway here from historic Bearcat Stadium. Adrian Forbes says, "We play with the cards we are dealt." He'd be lying if he said it was something that they were ready to handle this early in the campaign, but this is the position they find themselves in. Now it's about making a major statement of intent against the best side to open this season in USL League One. Onan, first ever signing in Naples history, is hunting the run of Luca Purpa. Well, there is Adrian Forbes, his first season at the helm of Texoma, moving from the youth ranks at Luton Town, spent the bulk of his coaching career in his native England. But he said this was an opportunity he could not pass up to be a head coach and sporting director. As this cross comes in, Henderlong, and just drags it wide. A glaring chance across the top strikers. This came out of thin air. See the cross come in. It's a good one at that. Henderlong makes good contact. Lasser joining the fray. Farine, spaced across here toward the back post and right into the waiting gloves of Mason McCready. He spent 10 years, or nearly a decade rather, in Scotland with Partick Thistle FC. Bounced around the Scottish 4th and 5th tiers on loan before making the leap of faith to go back to the States, but comes from a very athletic background, Mason McCready does. His father, Scott, was a 2003 Super Bowl champion with the Patriots. Grew up in the US before moving back to the UK during his formational years as a footballer. Cisneros nearly lost out, and now he does. John A. carrying it free. Has support in the box, whipped in towards McManus. Lost his footing in the process. And his loud appeals for penalty immediately dismissed by Jacqueline Metz. Vernon McManus is the primary threat so far, and his story is quite remarkable at just 23 years of age. Man who lit up the score sheet during his final 3 years of college at Louisville, but then did not earn a professional contract last year coming out of college. So he went to a number of combines across the USL League One ranks and impressed Adrian Forbes during the combine with Texoma. Adrian Forbes raves about him, says his work rate off the ball is fantastic. There's still a lot to fine-tune, but the 2 goals have signified plenty of potential to open his professional career. He feels he can emerge into quite the asset going forward as the year progresses. Talking to McManus as well, he said when he scored that first pro goal in the Open Cup, he nearly blacked out. For him now, it's about making his goals have a bit more meaning. And so far through half an hour, a tally would have plenty of implications here. Torres. Glasser again. Tricky from Torres. Falls for Henderlong, low driver, and it's in! The red-hot form continues. Henderlong with a fourth of the year, and it's 1-0 Naples. Almost immediately on the 30-minute threshold, the side on the front foot cashes in on their dominance. The league leaders in front. Well, he's been threatening all night, and this is a class finish. Trickery from Torres, the league's leading goal scorer, bagging his fourth in league play this year. What a start it's been to his Naples career. This does not bode well if you are a Texoma supporter, because as we mentioned, Naples is built on its defensive solidity. This is a team that's conceded just one league goal in the entirety of this campaign. And they boast two of the best center backs in the league in Breck Evans and Jake Tangler. So if Naples chooses, they could sit back in defense and choose to protect this. Farine, they appear to be hunting more. Outside of the boot cross. Falls for Onen. Onen in space! That would have been quite the finish, but it never dipped in time. You see Onen creates the separation with the fake shot and then bashes it on his left. It was always rising and never fell. 5 minutes. He's arguably been their most dangerous threat outside of Henderlong. Still nothing to show for it on the score sheet yet. Perpa. He's fouled by Ramos, who's already on a yellow. Excuse me, he's not on a yellow. Killwine is. The yellow is shown to Jordan Chavez at the end of the day, though. So it's the captain Chavez in the book. Both center backs have been cautioned for Texoma tonight. Perpa chipping it forward towards Henderlong. It's off the post, still loose, and Farine unable to catch up to it. Henderlong seemed displeased, clearly thought his shirt was tugged. Jacqueline Metz unmoved though, and as things stand, Texoma off the hook.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A caution has been issued by referee Texoma FC, number 12.
Well, hearing word, as things stand, it will only be 1 minute of stoppage time. Texoma at this point, you'd figure, is just keen to get to halftime without any further damage. McManus is penalized. And there is your halftime whistle. After 45 minutes, it is another frustrating spell for Texoma FC. Runs into a thicket of dark blue kids. Johnny. Falls for Mason again. Now dispossessed by Farine. Henderlong is off to the races with support. This is Carson Henderlong. Laying it off now, Perpa. Goes out for a corner for Naples.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Chances continue to mount. I think Henderlong, maybe kicking himself here, was clearly trying to usher himself onto his left. But bought Texoma just enough time to recover defensively. Will be another corner for Naples. Chris Heckenberg is making his way over to take. With in swing, decent ball, and it's headed in. A second for Naples, and that may be the separation required. Set piece woes rear their ugly head again for Texoma. It is a deserved second for the visitors, and it's Breck Evans who finds the back of the net for the second consecutive match. Well delivered. Evans rising like a salmon, placed to perfection in the bottom right. A goal reminiscent. Jane. Still Lamine Jane. Didn't quite have the bite on that effort. And at this point, Naples clearly content to absorb pressure out of possession. Not coming out of their shell much as they seek to protect this two-goal advantage. Jane, the flag stays down. Looking for Baker. Approaching the final quarter of an hour here from Sherman. Lamine Jane again, 29-year-old. Cuts inside, and there is the first save required of Lalo Delgado tonight. It's not an effort that required much of him, but it is him being called into action. Heckenberg. Ferrain shoved to the deck. They equalize from the spot in that match, and the rest has been history for Matt Poland's side. A side that has rode its defensive solidity to result after result and has hardly dropped points the entire campaign. Ferrain latches onto this. Now tucking it inside towards Onan. Jordan won it cleanly, according to our official. Benamna.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The caution has been issued by referee to Texoma FC.
Ferrain. It's a careless giveaway. Ferrain running onto it. Andres Ferrain! An excellent stop from McCready to at least keep Texoma within somewhat striking distance. It's just a simple 1-2. Texoma's defense switches off. It's a full extension stop from McCready. It is Kevin O'Connor to take, one of the many substitutes for Naples tonight. Hooks it towards the back post, headed on, and there is the third for Naples. Both center backs on the score sheet. Jake Dengler makes it 3-0. Devastation for Texoma. Celebration for Naples. And there is the full-time whistle. A dominant Naples display from wire to wire sends the league leaders further atop the table.